This is vintage psychology for sleep. A quiet place where nothing is asked of you and everything moves slowly. If you find comfort here, you're welcome to return another night. Some listeners choose to subscribe simply so these stories are waiting for them when the day has grown heavy again. And if this quiet place feels helpful, you may leave a gentle mark below so others searching for rest may find their way here too. You don't need to listen closely. You don't need to remember a thing. If sleep arrives early, this story will continue without you. I'll speak softly for a while. Then a story will unfold, and later the voice will soften even more. Tonight's story: When Past Mistakes Visit at Midnight. In those shadowed hours, when the clock seems to breathe more loudly than the room itself, there is a peculiar visitor who arrives without knocking: regret. It does not come during the busy daylight. It waits, patiently, until the world grows quiet enough to hear it. There was once a woman who noticed this pattern long before she understood it. Each night she prepared for sleep in the same careful way, the curtains drawn halfway, the lamp turned low, its amber glow settling softly against the walls, a chair placed just so beside the bed, holding tomorrow's clothes like a promise that morning would come. And yet, the moment she lay down, the past began to stir. Not the grand moments, not the joyful ones, but the small mistakes, the words spoken too sharply, the chances not taken, the silences that lasted too long. They arrived like old letters slipped under the door, uninvited but familiar. She did not consider herself someone who dwelt on the past. By day she was capable, attentive, forward-moving. She solved problems, she made plans, she reassured others. But night changed the rules. At night, the mind no longer needed to be useful, and so it wandered. Psychologists once described this wandering as the mind's final accounting, a quiet audit performed when no new input competes for attention. The brain, relieved of its duties, turns inward, searching for unfinished business. Regret, in this way, is not punishment. It is a signal, a reminder from a part of the mind that wants closure, understanding, or forgiveness. But the trouble is this: midnight is a poor time to resolve the past. Lying in bed, she replayed moments as if they were scenes from a radio drama. Each replay felt sharper than the last, as though the darkness amplified their edges. Her chest tightened, her breath shortened, her body prepared to fix something that no longer existed. And this is where the trap forms. The tired mind believes that if it thinks hard enough, long enough, it might finally arrive at peace. But fatigue distorts judgment. What feels like reflection is often rumination in disguise. There is an old metaphor, seldom spoken aloud now, that compares regret to a lantern carried through fog. By day, the fog is thin, the lantern unnecessary. But at night, when visibility drops, the lantern's light reflects back upon itself, creating shadows that seem larger than life. Her regrets were like that. Not new, not urgent, simply brighter in the dark. One night, as rain traced its patient rhythm against the window, she noticed something curious. The same regret appeared night after night, unchanged. No solution emerged, no new insight followed, only repetition. That was when a quiet realization formed. Perhaps the mind was not asking her to solve the past, but to feel something she had postponed. Many regrets are not about what we did wrong. They are about what we never allowed ourselves to feel fully at the time. Grief delayed, anger swallowed, longing dismissed as impractical. In waking hours, these emotions stay buried beneath usefulness, but when usefulness sleeps, emotion rises. She experimented gently. Instead of arguing with the regret, she acknowledged it. Yes, that mattered. Yes, that hurt. Yes, I wish it had been different. No judgment, no solution, just recognition. Something subtle shifted. The regret did not disappear, but it softened, as if relieved to be seen rather than interrogated. This is the single insight the mind sometimes needs before rest. Regret grows louder when it is unheard, but it quiets when it is allowed to exist without correction. Her breathing slowed, not because the past was resolved, but because the present no longer demanded action. The body, sensing safety, loosened its grip. As the nights passed, she learned a new habit. When regret arrived, she met it like an old acquaintance passing through town, not with enthusiasm, not with resistance, just a nod. I see you. You can sit here for a while. And most nights, that was enough. The visitor stayed briefly, then wandered on, finding no argument, no fuel. Now, as you rest here, you may notice your own midnight visitors gathering at the edges of thought. They do not need to be pushed away. They do not need answers tonight. You may imagine placing them gently beside you, like old photographs set back into a drawer, not discarded, just resting. Let your breath lengthen on its own. Let the mattress support what the mind no longer needs to carry. Tomorrow belongs to daylight, insight belongs to rest, and the past can wait quietly until it is met with strength rather than fatigue. The clock continues its steady work. The rain keeps time with it. Nothing else is required of you now. And as the mind loosens its hold, the night opens wider, inviting sleep to arrive without explanation, without effort. And so, the mind rests, and the night carries you onward into a softer place.